Hi, Loren. Why should small business owners invest in search engine optimization?
So the main reason that small business owners should invest in SEO is because unlike advertising and other forms of paid marketing where you have to continuously pay when you get a sell a service or whatever, with SEO once it's done, right? Once it's done, it continuously pays off, right? So when you have a website that's built, that's optimized for the correct terms, that you add content to, it can more or less be a lower budget way to get continuous traffic to your website over time, especially for smaller businesses where your competition may not be leveraging SEO on their websites and maybe using something very simple out of the box. And that really can give a small business owner a competitive advantage just by implementing the basics of on-site SEO. First of all, it's fairly easy to begin and learn about. Implementation is not necessarily that expensive for a small business site. Just learning your terms, what you want to focus on, writing some basic content, showing some behind the scenes things like that is definitely something that can be done on the business side that will continuously help you reap the rewards from that initial effort.
For someone who wants to learn about SEO, where do you think is a good place for them to start?
The absolute best place for someone to start who wants to learn about SEO would be the SEO 101 guide on Search Engine Journal. So if you search Google for just SEO guide or SEO 101 guide, you can definitely start there. One thing we've been able to do here at like SEJ is to work with some of the top SEO professionals from around the world to get basic information on how to get started, how to identify keywords, how to acquire links back to your site, and all things that almost anyone brand new to the world of SEO can begin with. So I'd highly suggest one, going and downloading and reading our Search Engine Journal SEO 101 guide. Also reading SEJ, reading other blogs as well, like Search Engine Roundtable, Search Engine Land, following what's going on at Google with the Google Webmaster team as well. It's a great place to get started, to learn the basics, and then to grow from there.
Which brands or companies are winning in their SEO strategy?
Yeah, one brand that continuously blows me away, especially in the home space and home repair, is called thespruce.com, which used to be about.com. So for years, about.com was a major site that had lots of categories full of content, right? And then they decided to chop it up. So home content became thespruce.com. Baby content became thenest.com. Wedding content became theknot.com. So on and so forth. And they're still at the Spruce and at the finance version of the Spruce and multiple other sites are still churning out really good content. So I would definitely go to thespruce.com, especially if you're in the home services space, and look at that. Another site that I see a lot of is Thumbtack, just because of the categorization of the services that are available on thumbtack.com showing up in Google. So both of those sites and entities really impress me.
Finally, can you tell us what your typical day is like? Thanks, Loren.
So my typical day is kind of crazy. I wake up very early and I procrastinate. So I do a lot of work on my phone while I still haven't gotten up yet, checking emails, replying, things like that. Then I basically do a lot of busy work to catch up and get ahead of the day in the morning. And then right now in the US, we're having kids do learning from home because of COVID. So then my wife and I have breakfast with my son, get him all set up to do his learning at home, and then I'm back to a lot of meetings that I have during the day. A lot of the meetings that I have are basically going over reports and updates with clients in terms of what we're doing right now, progress, next step, and return on investment. And I'd say it wasn't really until like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that looking at return on investment on an ongoing basis was something that we did a lot with clients. But I would say right now it's really been a winning strategy. So we're continuously showing clients what the benefit is to working with us, and how their investment with us as an agency is profitable with them. Because if you don't do it for them, they may not know, or they may assume. But if you can show them the ongoing numbers on the return from a traffic perspective, a sales perspective, a lead perspective, and how that's growing over time, then obviously there's more trust in your service because you're growing their business. So that's quite helpful. Just reporting on rankings doesn't really tell much, right? So I think that's something that's worked exceptionally well. And if you're a small business, always keep a hold on what your ROI is, how much you're bringing in from PPC, how much from search, how much from social media, et cetera, et cetera. And then in the afternoons, sometimes, as you see, I have like some camera equipment behind me. So I'm working on different videos like this and things for Search Engine Journal. So I split up my day between agency, basically busy work in the morning, a little bit of family time, agency work, then publication work. Then I typically stop working around 4 p.m., spend some more time with family, running around doing activities, things like that. And then I check in on things before I go to sleep. So pretty long day, but I chop it up and I try to balance things. Thank you.